If you like this podcast or the previous ones, please consider buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Frankie'sPod. It just goes to help fund the software and the hosting. Right, I'm talking to Craig Douglas. Craig served with the Royal Artillery for when he's going to tell us, because I forgot to ask him beforehand. Hi, Craig, how are you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Yourself, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, mate, I'm good. So, welcome to the podcast, and again, as I said to everybody, thanks for doing it. You know, if it wasn't for people like you, I wouldn't be able to. So, it's the same 5 questions that we ask everybody. So, if you just want to give us a quick overview, or not quick overview, you can take as long as you want, of where you grew up, why you joined the army, what it was like, why did you leave, and what have you done since? So if you just want to start off with where you grew up and why you joined the army.
Well, I was born in Cambridge, with Ely. My dad was in the RAF, and so I was a bit of a pads brat, really. So I was getting pulled around from pillar to post, really. Spent some time in Germany. Where else did I go to? Yeah, County Durham, hence the accent.
I was going to say, there's a bit of a swang there.
I've got a bit of a. I hear when people call me a Geordie, he's like, "What the fuck, really?" I don't think so. Like, oh, he's a Mackham. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, just south of Sunderland, about 5 miles south of Sunderland. I was brought up basically in that area, really.
I know that area. I'm from Hartlepool.
Yeah, Merton.
Yeah,
just west of Seaham Harbour. Yeah. Hartlepool. Yeah, I used to have a girlfriend from there. That was Blackhall. She used to come from Blackhall. Just north of Hartlepool. But anyway, yeah. So I was brought up in Merton, which is a pit village in the northeast of England. It was the mid-80s. We had it was the miners' strike. There wasn't really much work going on there. I went to college in Peterlee. Didn't do very well. I just flunked all my exams. It's school. I even put jokes in the mock exams. So I just didn't take it very seriously at all. And I heard some friends of mine had joined the army, the Marines. And I thought, well, I'd give that a shot. So I went to, I think it was Horden ACIO, the Careers Information Office in Horden, and went there. And the first thing he asked me was, what do you want to join? I said, I want to join infantry. And he said, fuck off, you're going to join the infantry, mate. Because they'd just done the Barb test. He said, you can do something a bit better than that. So, so I thought, well, he said, try the artillery. So I thought, well, what the fuck's that about? So, yeah, okay, I'll give that a shot, the artillery. I remember telling my dad that as well, and he wasn't very happy with me. He thought I was going to go RAF, like he was, because he was RAF. So, yeah, joined the artillery down in Woolwich. That was in 1990. Yeah, it was a bit of a culture shock, that was. Yeah, going on a train. Yeah, the thing is, I've never...
been away from home, and was that the first time you'd been away from home on your own?
It was on my own, on my Jack Jones. Yeah. It was like, even trying to get through the London Underground was like, what the hell's going on here? It was like a deer in the headlights, you know what I mean? But I was just following other people who had Bergens on the back, so I was just following them. I followed this one guy, and he got me right, to the right place, to Woolwich Arsenal, I think it was. And then this guy was in a uniform. That was it. He stood there, and obviously we went into the barracks, and that was it. Yeah, and basic training for 10 weeks. I went to signals after that. I did the signals section because there was 3. You could either go guns, driving, which is logistics, and then you got the signals. So I did signals, did that for 5 weeks. Yeah, what was the next question?
That's quite a heavy course to give a new recruit, really, signals.
It was, because there was a lot of stuff. There was like the voice procedures, and that was a bit difficult. There was like the phonetic alphabet. You had to learn all that, and it was like trying to remember what L was. And we thought llama man. That was on. I think it was Radio 1. That was. Which I think, yeah, Jesus, yeah. It was Lima. I know it was Lima, but we.
I mean, I work in IT at the moment, and when people are reading out passwords to clients and stuff like that, and if they don't use the phonetic alphabet correctly, I go fucking mental. I don't know why. It's
Like
just
M
one of
for
my
mother.
triggers.
Like, what the
Oh,
fuck?
don't! It fucking grips me. It really, really. It's like a proper trigger.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I kick off, mate. I was like, I've taught you
Like,
how to do it.
or A for Abel, or B for
Yeah.
Baker. It's like, no, I don't
Oh,
fucking think
for
so about man.
orange.
Hey, porridge.
But it just does me nothing. I don't know what it shouldn't. I should just go, yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? It really triggers me for some reason. Sorry, no, no.
I think that like, if you're a signals instructor, yeah, you get triggered quite easily by people saying the wrong things on the radio. You know, and just like you sit over and out or something like that. Fucking hell, gets me mad. You know what I mean?
Well, part of the job is that, you know, like especially with a SIG sergeant, is the radio discipline as well. So
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
So did you enjoy training then?
No, I didn't. No, it was a shock to the system. It was like I wasn't used to getting up at like 5 a.m, well, 5:30 sort of thing. I went bumper in the floor with a big bloody what's those things you have to use on the floor? You wax the floor, and then you get the big heavy thing. Oh, I forget what you bloody call it. It's the bumper thing.
You said it, yeah.
It wasn't the electric one, but there was one you used to.
No, I know which one you mean.
Yeah. Jesus.
I had to do a wall with that once.
On the ceiling.
I went AWOL.
Yeah.
And I ended up in Woolwich Nick. And one of the punishments we used to have was like there was this full screw they called him Harry the Bastard. I think his name was Carpenter.
I think I've heard of that.
It was like when was this? Oh, 87 it was, about 87. Yeah. And he used to make us like bump with the wall, you know, as punishment and stuff like that. He just wasn't that
proper sadist.
Oh, it was. I found it funny. You know, they can't make you pregnant, but he tried everything else.
The thing is, though, he thought it was funny, but the humour does come back to you years later when you think back on it, don't you? You know, I think, yeah, I can see your point on that one. Jesus.
That's true. I mean, it wasn't when your arms are tight and your shoulders are aching and you're pissed off. But we were still laughing. You know, it wound him up even more if we didn't get wound up by it. You know, type of thing. So it was like a little battle. We were in there for 10 days before we got flew back to Germany. It wasn't just me. There was a fucking rasp of guys from 4-5 regiment. They'd all gone to a funeral, and instead of coming back to camp, they just went on the piss for a couple of weeks. Whatever, you know. Again, sorry to rub out, you know. I'll try not anymore.
That's off to you, mate, for doing 10 days in there. That's brilliant, that is. That's some doing, that is, mate.
No, don't worry, I've done a few stints.
Yeah, I've done a stint as well.
But this way, I never got my Edison GC, put it that way. So what unit did you go to after training then?
Well, I went straight to 4-Edge. Yeah, it was in the summer of 1990. I went to 4-Edge. I was in 8-8 battery. I was basically in the command post. So we did some exercises up in Bergen-Horne, the Horne Rangers. We did them up there. And it was before we went to Canada. And yeah, it was just a pre-Canadian exercise, if you like, prepare us for that. I think that's what it was. And then we went to Canada. And I remember I was out there. They had me on the guns because I was absolutely useless in the. They had me down as the in the FDC, and you had to be a really experienced flaggy to go on the FDC. And I don't know why they did it because it was just straight out of basic training. 17-year-olds, you know. Well, I just turned 18 actually, just fresh out of training, and they binned me off the FDC to get him on the guns. I was on this guy called Baz Prosser, big fella. He didn't take any shit either, and I didn't have a clue. Honestly, didn't have a pot of glue, mate. And Jesus, yeah, that was a tough experience. That was the heat, the mosquitoes, and just getting shouted at all the time. It was even getting belted a few times, not in the face, but in the chest, like knocked down a bit because I just fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, I was good, but yeah, I remember hearing about Saddam Hussein invading Kuwait, and it was like, but it was a bit strange for me because my parents were out in Saudi at the time, so I was a bit concerned because my dad he'd left the RAF and he was over there working with the Saudi Air Force. I was like, oh my god, this bloody Iraqis have invaded Kuwait. My dad's over there, my parents are over there. But yeah, it was a bit strange, you know what I mean? We were expected to go over there, you know, we were expected to what was it, Desert Storm, I think it was.
Yeah.
But no, last we were going to Northern Ireland instead. So we were doing all the training for Northern Ireland, and then as we were going over there, we were watching the fireworks in the Middle East while we were doing patrols in South Armagh. So it was a bit of a bummer.
I mean,
hey?
I was in the first Gulf as BCS, and you probably have more enjoyment than we did. Walking on there. But again, it's a completely different thing in an island to something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
and you get jealous of missing out on stuff like that, because that's what you train for.
Of course, yeah. It was like a conventional war, isn't it, rather than asymmetrical in Northern Ireland. You got the full. Yeah. I mean, there was one story I heard about the Gulf. I don't know if it's an urban legend, and I think it was somebody from the artillery, but it was like they were in a trench, and then there was some rockets or shamulis were fired out, and there was a firefight up ahead. And then this guy got out the trench and he started raving. He thought it was a rave. It's just like he was dancing away, and it was just it was just mad. You know,
I've not heard that one though.
No, I don't know.
He might have been on his EpiPens, mate.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I heard that anyway. It made me chuckle that when I heard that. That was brilliant. But yeah, Northern Ireland.
I've interviewed guys from Fourth Reg who were there at the same time as you, or they got there just after you. And basically all you did a lot of was Canada, Ireland, Canada.
Yeah, that's it.
That time. Yeah,
yeah. We did have guys who'd went to the Gulf, and then they come back. I think it was the radar operators, the Cymbeline operators. They came back, and they basically joined us. I think I'm sure it was they did that. You know what I mean? They came back and just bolstered our numbers in Air Battery when I was with the Air Battery in Bestbrook Mill, and they just come back from there. Yeah. But yeah, it was a proper good tour. I enjoyed that. It was a helicopter tour. It was a bit different, getting choppered out into the fields and all that, and just out you go and do your patrols and stuff like that, and whatever you have to do.
Did you have any incidents with that?
Not really. There was one. Yeah, there was one. It was basically some dude decided to throw a grenade at a checkpoint, but he dropped the grenade. I think it was Red Hand Commandos, which is a very small Republican terrorist group. Dropped the grenade, picked it up, and it detonated in his hand, so it was like an own goal. So his fingers were left. Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We were chuckle about that, you know what I mean? But yeah, he went off to hospital, and the IUC caught up with him, and obviously found out who it was, minus his fingers. I think it's you.
Well, could have fingerprinted him anyway.
Yeah, he could have done. Yeah, that was it really. That was the only major one we had out there for Air Battery. Was that. But no one was hurt. No one was injured. It was that was it. I think one of the other batteries had a mortar attack on their plane. I think it was Keedy that had a mortar attack on it. But nobody got injured. I don't think anyone got injured or hurt in that one. So we were relatively lucky, really. But yeah, it was a good tour though. Enjoyed it.
So then after that, back to Germany again.
Back to Germany. Yeah. Back to Traz. Yeah, it was Traz, wasn't it? Yeah. But the thing is, you said it's Traz, like Osna Traz. You couldn't get away from it. But it's probably one of the best postings I've ever had, really, because you compare that to a UK posting, and in the UK there was no battery bars, there was no life. It's like the life had sapped out here in the UK. Yet in Germany, you all had to muck in. You either did that or you just mingled with the Germans, outside of barracks. But inside, a lot of the lads just stayed inside, and they went to NAFI, went to the battery bar, went to the other battery bars or the squadron bars from the the ambulance. AFA to AFA, they were there as well, all the engineers. It was a brilliant it was like camaraderie, you know what I mean? Everyone knew each other and all that. It was brilliant.
I only ever went down there once for we did a CPX when I was in third, and we went down there. We spent I think it was about a week there.
Yeah.
But I knew quite a few lads from Fourth. Just I was in 4-7 to start with, and when they changed to air defence, we all got posted out to different places, and there was a big load of us went to third, and there was a big load went to Fourth Reg, like people like Tony Gallardi, Ian Brown, Neil Wilson.
Oh, Ian Brown. Is that Paddy Brown?
Yeah, Paddy Brown.
Yeah, not Paddy Brown. Yeah, he's a good bloke. Yeah, he's my VQMS.
He was one of the full screws that kind of like I looked up to him.
Yeah.
And, I mean, really looked up to him. He was like, I wouldn't say, he fucking was. He was like one of my heroes, but he was a mentor.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant bloke. Dean Blair, he was a good
Yeah, no,
mate.
Dean Blair. Yeah.
I mean, the artillery is not very big. Even it used to be, but it's not very big. So I mean, you always bump into people you know. And I've spoken to them afterwards, or a few of them afterwards about, especially with Tony Gallardi. I interviewed Tony Gallardi on the 4th podcast I did.
Yeah.
And I was in and out of Tony's career all the way through, more or less. Big gaps in between, but we bumped into each other a lot. And we ended up with 3-4 battery. He was my TSM, not my TSM. He was the tug of war manager for the team the other time. He got us out of the shit quite a few times. He's a really, really good lad. And his podcast that he did is a lovely story. Obviously, he had his, the bad things that happened to him as well. But he's doing well now. He's living the dream type of thing.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, he explained to me each regiment has its own, its own life, its own traditions and stuff like that. And even within the artillery we're quite insular. So the regiments are quite insular. They don't mix very well with other regiments. We're always, third's always the best. And then when I went to 3-9, 3-9 was always the best. Fourth's always the best. But he was telling me about fourth and how the batteries all gelled really, really strongly together. There was no, and there was no like animosity between the batteries either. So you could all go to the Naffy Bar.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be a fight. Which I thought, that's a bit fucking weird. That was part and parcel of a Saturday night. Was I wouldn't say going out and getting into a fight, but there'd always be a bit of banter. But that all the Mackhams were in one battery, all the Geordies in another battery type of thing. Was it really like that? Was that what it was like?
I wouldn't say there was mixture of like Geordies and Mackhams in the different batteries, but we did mix. We did gel sort of thing. I mean, I used to go to like 329 or 29 batteries bar, and there was 5-2 battery when they came over in '94. Was up there a bar, even when it crossed with them to Belfast, I was attached to them guys. But yeah, we all sort of gelled. There was no animosity really, to be fair. I mean, fair dues to them. 5-2 battery when they first came over, they were the outliers, because 4-5 are disbanded sort of thing, and obviously the battle honors, I think 9-4 New Zealand battery, 9-4 field battery originally was turned into an HQ battery. We got that, and 5-2 joined us, the 4 Edge, and there was a bit of, I wouldn't say animosity, but it was like us and them, if you like, because they just joined, but they were a sort of an elite sort of like unit. They were pretty fit. They were the fit guys, you know what I mean? They were the ones that were stood apart from the rest of us. But we sort of got on really well after that.
They didn't drink as much.
Hey?
They didn't drink as much.
I don't think they drank as much. I don't think so. No, I think they were from They were the Lancashire Gunners. I think they were. From Lancashire. Yeah.
I mean, it was a shame round about that time. So there was a lot of regiments did get disbanded. We ended up with them in third. We ended up with N Battery from second field, and again it was the same. It was like they came in and it was like, oh, fucking hell, who were them?
Wasn't that the options for change?
That was the options for change, like 92. I mean, you said like 2-9 battery there. That became 3-2-9. So the 3 bit,
that's it.
Yeah, the 3 was from 3 battery, which is what I was in with Ian Brown.
Yeah.
We were gutted when that happened. Like really, really gutted. We had a CEO at the time who said, "Don't worry, lads, you'll be all right. When I leave here, I'm going on the board who picks the regiments." We were like, "Get in, Thorney Island, hell of a posting, regiment's safe." Next thing we know, right, use lot. Do you want to be air defenders? Use lot are too thick. Fuck off to another regiment. Oh, right, okay, bye. And then battery's gone. 4 battery or 4 Sphinx battery got. Their name went to 473 battery. 3 battery went to 329 battery. I don't know what happened to 3-1 battery. If anyone knows who's listening, let me know. No, I mean, it was crap, but
it was. I remember doing 2 selection courses. I did one with 7.3 battery in '93, as it was then 7.3 battery. That was in Dortmund. That one, West Riding Barracks. I remember doing that one, and obviously because I didn't pass that one, I did the second one in Catterick. It was a 4.73 battery. That was in '94. But they obviously that was after the options for change, wasn't it? Yeah. That was crazy. That. Yeah.
So what made you go for that?
I just wanted
That's
to,
what it is.
I wanted to do something different and something a bit more, I don't dare say it special, but special, yeah.
Well, I
I
mean,
just
they
thought,
were. Nobody knew about them.
what's
You
that?
know, when you said you were going for like 7.3 Barry, you'd see things on orders about like this special OPs thing or this troop, but nobody knew about them. It wasn't like advertised or anything like that.
No, there was.
You know,
I mean,
I didn't know nothing about them.
originally, I think they were just like it was a troop thing with the heavy regiments, and they would be
Yeah,
deployed with them guys, and they weren't battery level. They were troop. I think they were troop levels. With is it 3-9 heavy? And
yeah,
another
it
heavy
was
regiment. They
3.9.
went up with them guys, and they would be in mexis, and they'd be dug under. The mexi would be like a container, and they'd be shitting in cling film and pissing in jerry cans and stuff, and waiting for the Russians to roll over, and then report on the what was passing over them. I don't think the life expectancy was very good, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, that was what they were meant to do. I think that sort of evolved. They turned the amalgamate into a battery, I think, and became 7.3 battery and attached to is it 5 reg?
Yeah.
I think it was 5 reg in Dortmund, wasn't it? Yeah, that was it. Yeah. But yeah, I decided to give it a go and give it a try. I got injured on both attempts, so didn't quite make the grade really because of injury. So never mind.
So it's back to the regiment.
Back to the regiment, yeah, back to 4 reg, yeah. That was 90. It was after the Belfast tour. Yeah, I tried the second time, and then we went to we were told we were going to Bosnia in '95 because I was part of a radar troop. I was a Cymbeline operator. So I did quite a few jobs prior to that. That's probably why I was a late, promoted late really. I did signals in 90. And I became a clerk in 92, an artillery clerk. Thought that was shit, didn't like that. And then I became a radar operator after that.
That's how I started my career off. Left junior leaders, then went and done the all arms. We did the first all arms clerks course at Worthy Down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got sacked within fucking hell. I didn't even do 8 months. I think they just went, "Oh shit," and I got sacked. I got in with the wrong crowd in the regiment. All the old guys in the SQ out here were on a piss every night. I thought I could keep up, and I couldn't. And I just got in the shit after it, and they just went, "Right, you're not a clerk. You're going to a gun battery." And they found the biggest, hardest fucking bunny crew to put me on, and that was like, I never looked back. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know what I mean? It was phenomenal. I love being on the guns. But being a clerk, I thought it was going to be an easy life. It's fucking not as shit.
No, I remember doing. It was a part of Waters clerk with a big. It was like a computer. They had this computer called Pampas, and it was like fucking Pampas. What fucking stupid. It's like 1 megabyte of memory. It was like the size of I don't know. It's fucking huge. It's like massive. 1 megabyte. I remember I had to do the orders through that as well, and I remember I accidentally demoted. Remember the guy called Baz Prosser? He was originally he was originally a bombardier. Then I don't know what I'd done. I did something by accident. I demoted him down to Lance Bombardier, and he was the biggest, hardest bloke ever. And I remember him coming into the office complaining about it. I thought, shit, and I just hid from him. I thought, he's going to kill me, this guy. You know what I mean? Kiss myself, Jesus. Because I knew it was my fault because I dealt with all those things. I used to put the orders through on this like big floppy disk, and it would go off to York. I think it was York. I think it was. It was crazy times. Oh well. And I remember changing my religion.
I remember that address. Harry Morning Records, Full Barracks, YO14HD.
Yeah, I've just said it as well. YO14HD.
40 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my
I remember
God.
postcodes as well. Remember the one for Darlington, DL7N10, 7MP, DL10 7MP or something. And there's one for Salisbury Plain, SP48QT was the Salisbury Plain one for I think that was
that was for school.
Yeah. I think that's what that was. Larkhill actually. Fucking hell. Many things you remember. I don't even know what I was doing 5 minutes ago. Never mind bloody postcodes.
Yeah, I know.
30 odd years ago. YO14HD. Yeah. YO14HD. Jesus.
Yeah, bloody hell. So what was next for you after that then?
Well, yeah. Well, went to Sarajevo as United Nations. Remember doing that. We were Oh yeah, I think we were in the TV2 building at the time, so we would man the two of the Cymbeline radars. One would be at one end of this city on a fort on top of a hill, and another one would be near the airport. So we would sit in there and just read wank mags, bloody smoke, drink coffee. I don't know, just anything like that. It was boring, but we did that, and it was interesting. I say it was boring and interesting, but it was just nothing happened. It was just you'd hear lots of machine gun fire in the background and a couple of explosions and shit, and that was it really. There was Kate Eddie, she was on the scene. I remember she was there. And there was a guy called there was a bloke here with a limp. He was like he was a reporter, Martin Bell. He was there as well. Yeah, I remember him as well. We used to throw snowballs at him up in the fort. I remember Kate Eddie asking for some stationery and getting told to fuck off. She's not getting anything.
You don't want air hanging around you.
No, you don't. She's bad news. She's like a bloody Black Widow, that is. You know what I mean? If you see her, you know you're in the shit. You know, especially after Tiananmen Square. Jesus, yeah. Yeah.
No, I did it too with 19 Reg, around about the same time. Well,
Yeah.
Mount Igman. We had a radar troop. I don't know if they were at the same time as you, or you took
I remember going over Mount Igman in Vabs, in French Vabs, to get out of there, to get to. I don't know what we were doing. I don't know what we were doing because I remember taking up. I remember driving from Split to Sarajevo. And it took about like 10 hours, 10 hours in a vehicle. And then I remember flying out there to Split. It took like half an hour. No seat belts. You were just standing up, and at landing, you were just holding on to the day of life. I was mad. And there was. Do you remember Maybe Airlines? No, it was like a stamp they'd give you, like at the Sarajevo airport, and it was the UN sort of airport thing, and it was Maybe Airlines. Maybe we'll take off today. Maybe we won't. We just don't know. You know what I mean? And that was the stamp we used to give you. But yeah, that was it was interesting times. That was like but I remember.
Yeah, it was a weird old like predicament that it was in. You know, it's stuck with me forever. You know, I mean, some of the things I've seen over there, and some of the things you didn't see, but you knew would happen, but you see in the aftermath.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
they're the things that stick in your mind.
Srebrenica as well. I mean, we were there I think we'd left just before that happened, or it was during the time. It was June, I think it happened in '95. We didn't, we think, Jesus, that really happened. You know, it was like World War II massacre of like just lining them up and shooting them down. You know, it's like bloody hell.
It was happening all over the place, and
it was, yeah.
You know, I mean, a couple of things that we got involved in. You know, it's for another story, and it's one of them things I don't really like to talk about.
No, I don't know.
I mean, we were there with 19 Reg, and 19 Reg changed to multinational brigade. You know, blueberries came off, normal berries went on, and they fired. You know, and we part of the dating agreement was forced because of that same thing. So it got quite interesting then.
I think you guys were after us.
Yeah, I think we were the second half of the year.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. They snuck 19 Regiment into Gorny Vakuf.
Yeah.
All the light guns were in containers so that nobody'd see them. You know, and then some gun number one, and he's fucking just decided to load his gun up on the back of a Pinsgauer and go for a drive around town, doing a CFT on it. And all of a sudden the shit's in the fan because they didn't know they were there. You know, they were brought in containers, they were shipped up, hidden in the factory, and none of the locals, the Serbs didn't know they were there, the Croats didn't know they were there. You know, and then the shit's hit the fan after that, and then the French rocked up with 155s, but one Igman. That was quite interesting. Igman. You know, the poor sods. I was working with the medics, and we were stuck in this like burnt out hotel. It was, there was nothing in there. You know, they said, "Oh, you're in the hotel." You're in an hotel. We were thinking, "Oh, we're going to an hotel. That'll be great." And we got there, and it's like there wasn't even plaster on the walls. They'd set fire to it, and it was dangerous. It was a good old tour. Like.
Yeah. What was that holiday? What was that hotel called? I'm going to say holiday. What was that hotel called? It was like it was one in Sarajevo, and it was one that was getting shot up and all sorts. It was a famous brand of hotels around the world.
It might have been the Hilton.
Yeah, wasn't Hilton. Wasn't that? I can't remember. It wasn't a Holiday Inn or something. A Holiday Inn, or
It could have been.
yeah.
So what happened after Bosnia then?
Yeah, basically we were there for just over there. We were just basically reporting on just basically any sort of like mortars coming into the city. We just basically report on that stuff like that, and can't think of anything serious that happened. We go out into. I remember going out into the town itself, the city. We go out and we go out and have a couple of cokes, and we put our SA80s on the bar and order some cokes, a couple of cokes. It was like something like 20 Deutschmarks. It's like, bloody hell, how much? 20 Deutschmarks for 2 cans of coke, and it was like, because it was like rare, he's like, but yeah, it was crazy. It was expensive as well. It was mental. Yeah, you go out on the streets and you see these splat marks on the floor where the mortar rounds have been landed, in the city itself. And it was like, it was mad. Yeah, we used to I remember there was one funny time when we were in the TV2 building, we were watching the TV, watching the sport. It was like satellite TV, and then the news had come on, and we were watching you flick over and you watch the news, and it was about Sarajevo, and you'd see some poor bloke on there. He was getting, you could hear the shots from outside, and the French were getting shot all the time, just getting shot. They were shooting them. I mean, that was mad.
Yeah, I mean, the French used to have a troop on the airfield.
Yeah.
And I thought it was fucking mental. They were anti-sniper troops. So basically, they would run around and stand up and go, here I am, and run across. And then see if the snipers would take a shot. And then you had the French snipers on lookout waiting for their snipers. So if they got shot, they would shoot back.
Yeah.
We were, like I said, we nipped down to Sarajevo. And like you mentioned then, walking around the town or walking on the city. We were thinking, it's a war zone. And we were allowed out. Because we were visiting.
Yeah.
So,
and we could go out for a run as well.
We'll get you a Land Rover down to town. You can have a walk around. We went around, had a pizza, had a beer.
Yeah.
It was surreal. It was odd. It was not blinded at you. You're like, you're walking around in uniform with a weapon, a blue berry on, and the locals were like, they didn't even bat an eyelid at you.
No.
This is fucking weird. It was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, I remember the just out in front of where we were stationed. There was like a TV2 building. There was a huge like dual carriageway, and then beyond that there was a marketplace. And you'd think they'd be selling like fruit and veg and all that sort of stuff, but they weren't. They were selling like bits of plumbing and drain pipes and bricks and bits of metal and anything from the houses because they had nothing. That was pretty sad. Just people trying to sell stuff, and it was like it's mad. Yeah,
it was the closest thing to the Second World War, and it happened in the 90s, and it's almost forgot about. It's not that long ago. But it's almost forgot about. I've mentioned it to guys at work who were a lot younger, and they know nothing of it. And you're like, what do you mean? When I wasn't, one of the I wasn't born. I was like, thanks very much. Made me feel much older. But this happened. There was concentration camps. There was ethnic cleansing, and this was in Europe.
I was about to say those two things, and you think the last time that happened was probably they would say it was 1944, 1940. No, it happened. It was in the 90s that was happening. As you say, concentration camps and ethnic cleansing and systematic, shooting of mass, lining them all up and shooting them. It's just like it's just mad, isn't it? In Europe,
yeah, and like I say, it's just almost forgotten about. And in 10 years' time, Ukraine will be the same. Or maybe it's 15 years' time. It's probably still going on in 10 years' time. But 15 years' time, that'll all be forgot about. It's just the way it is, I suppose, in the end. You can't dwell on everything forever. But it just seems such a shame that, all the heartache and, the pain that was caused for nothing, really, for nothing. It was greedy people in the end, who wanted land, who wanted power. And it was just for nothing. All the thousands of people who died.
Yeah, and there's one film that stands out for me. There's a film called Savior. And that was set in the night. That really stands out for me. That does, and I thought, that sort of sums it up, really.
Yeah, I've never finished that film. I can't watch it all the way through.
It's pretty graphic, isn't it, and painful to watch. Yeah.
So what happened after Bosnia then, when you got back to Osnabrück?
Well, it was my sort of dark days after that. It was basically just alcohol fueled. I didn't do much really after that. It was like, it was sort of a dark period. and the army career really, I just went downhill right after that. Yeah, I was sort of single. I was flitting out, just shagging anything that moved really. Yeah, then
It's great
I
to
think
that now.
yeah, and then hit 99 and the Kosovo happened. I mean, I did some skiing in between. Then I did some skiing between tours of skiing, if you like, as biathlon, and that was the fittest I've ever been, really, to be perfectly honest. I went to, I think we learned how to ski in Switzerland. It was brilliant. It was proper good jolly. That was like 2 to 3 months. It was. Piss up was really good piss up as well. You're up in the mountains skiing with a rifle on your back, little 22 Anschutz, I think that's what it is, one of those little biathlon rifles, and you're just doing that, and then we finished that, and you come down to Osnabrück, which is about 100 meters above sea level, rather than a kilometer, and you do a BFT, and you beat the PTI in, and the PTI is not happy with it. You've done you did 7 minutes 45, you just like whiz in there. It's like wow. Yeah, it's the fittest I've ever been. It was brilliant, really good time that was. Yeah, I did a ski instructor's course, which is a bit of, and I thought that was the same as an alpine ski instructor's course. And I did that, so I thought I'll give the alpine ski instructor's course. I've done a Nordic ski instructor. I'm a Nordic ski instructor. I should be able to do alpine ski instructor. So I did that a few years later, and right at the very end, the instructor goes to me. He says, "By the way, you shit, mate. You shit." He says, "Yeah, you just got your bronze. You got your bronze, mate." He's like, for fuck's sake. He says, "Yeah, you got your bronze, mate." He says, "I thought I was going to fucking pass. No, you bronze, mate. You shit." So yeah, it's different. Downhill skiing, you might think it's easy, but it's not. It's more. Apparently, it's more difficult. It's a bit more finesse in the alpine skiing. You know, fucking hell. So yeah, I canned that one. I just said I'll stick with Nordic. Thank you very much. But yeah, I did that. I did that in '99 and came back from there. I was wondering why people were looking at maps of Yugoslavia, former Yugoslavia, like like the southern end, like Kosovo and Macedonia. Like, what are you looking at maps of these for? I didn't have a clue. I wasn't even looking at the news. I was just enjoying myself so much. I wasn't even paying attention to Milosevic and Pristina and and Kosovo and stuff like that, and then the ethnic cleansing with the Albanians. Yes, he said, "Oh, we're going to Kosovo." It's like, oh, great, here we go. So I was at 6 months in Kosovo. Wow.
I never did Kosovo. I was at Lark Hill then, doing
Oh,
an ARA. So I missed out on Kosovo completely. So I don't know. I don't really know a lot about what happened and what the role was or anything.
I think Milosevic was being a bit of an arsehole to the Kosovar Albanians. He was doing some nasty stuff down there. It's basically just a lot of them were getting killed, and there's a lot of burnings and ethnic cleansing going on. So we just said, right, enough's enough. We amassed our forces in Macedonia, a place called Skopje. I think that's the capital of Macedonia. We're just outside of there. So we're there for about 2 months, I think. We're just getting ready, doing exercises and stuff, and the various air forces were bombing basically selected targets in Kosovo, and obviously the Americans lost a patrol. They went near the border and they got nabbed. And I remember I was in the headquarters and somebody said, "Dad, that'll be on the news tomorrow." And I was on the news, and the guys were getting paraded in front of the cameras, and they'd been beaten up, not severely. They can walk, and they were just like being beaten up, sort of thing. And yeah, that was a bit crazy. That was, but yeah. And then we're crossing the border, and you had all the camera crews on you as we were crossing over. It was like we're going to get killed here. There's going to be mines everywhere. We're going to get shot at. It's nothing. It's just people cheering, throwing flowers at the 432s and the vehicles, and all that. And so yeah,
that's got to give you a good feeling.
It was brilliant. They were saying NATO, and throwing, saying, "Oh, the dog's bollocks," and it was brilliant. So yeah, we got in there, and we spent a good 3 or 4 months, in and around Pristina, doing patrols and putting out fires. I found most of my time I was attached to the paras for a bit.
Yeah,
they needed some support. I was an NCO at the time, so I took charge of a patrol once and just did a patrol. Just did stuff like that, and put out fires. It was like they were burning people out of their houses and stuff. So we were making sure they were safe, and we were just like making sure the fire crews were getting there and putting the fires out. It was just, it was pretty sad as well because they were doing it amongst themselves. Yeah, it was a bit mad.
I mean,
Yeah,
mentality's a bit crazy. Isn't it?
it was. Yeah, do you remember seeing just all women crying their eyes out, walking, just walking away from their houses which were burning down? You think, Jesus Christ, and it's just mad. Yeah, it was a bit. It was a city in turmoil and distress, and there was a lot of and we were doing right control for one period of time. There was a house. There was a wasn't a house, it was a block of flats. There was a guy in the top, and he was like, there was a fire in the basement, and there was a guy crying, and I was like, he's putting that on because the camera crews are on him, and then this camera crew goes to me, and they said, "Can you repeat that?" And I said, "What do you mean?" You just said he was putting it on. He said he was joking. It was like an American reporter. I thought, shit, here we go. So I just said no comment. It was the first time that I had the media on me. I thought, shit, you know what I mean? I get, yeah, yeah. Tell me about it. But yeah, there was good. It was good little tour that was. Yeah, enjoyed that.
And then back to Osnabrück again.
Yeah, back to Osnabrück. Yeah, we went back after that, and
you were there a long time, weren't you?
I was there 18 years. Osnabrück. Wow. I was like, it was like, yeah, I knew every back street, every back road of Osnabrück. I just knew like the back of my hand. It come to a point like I'd spent more time in Germany than in England. And it was like, I mean, I spent 4 years in Germany as a kid. And then you got 18 years as an adult. It's like it's just mad. But yeah, I'd say it was one of the best times of my life, really, to be perfectly honest. So I did that and went to Northern Ireland in 2003. Did that tour. It was it was 2003. That was it. Yeah, got married as well. Got married in the May. I got married to her. She's a Belarusian lady, girl. We're separated now, but we're still friends. But yeah, we got married in it. Like I say, a week later, I was in Northern Ireland. Spent 6 months in there. I was in Londonderry for 6 months. That was a very quiet.
Different that tour, wouldn't it?
It
would have been a bit different that tour, because it was towards the very end of it, really.
It was towards the very end, yeah. And I noticed there was a. I remember I was a part of the intelligence cell, and we hardly go out on patrols. I mean, when we did go on patrols, I noticed there was a drop in quality on how people patrolled. It was like it was completely different from the 91 tour we did.
Yeah.
It was like completely slack. I couldn't believe it. I don't know what it was, or maybe the training had changed, or people just didn't give a shit anymore. Or, there wasn't many people.
It wasn't high tempo anymore, so
not really. No,
I suppose it was less dangerous, really.
Yeah, I say so as well. There was nobody killed in those 6 months from our regiment, So it was just, it was pretty quiet, to be perfectly honest. There's nothing going on. I was like, what the fuck? I was just in briefs all the time, intelligence briefs on characters and people, personnel, being Republican or loyalist terrorists, so we'd be doing that. That's it, really, There wasn't really much to talk about that tour. I mean, the best tours, I think, for Northern Ireland was the Belfast tour in '94. That was a brilliant tour. It was a bit dangerous as well. We had a few people injured on that one. That was the '94 one in Ardoyne. It was a good tour, that. But the Londonderry one, it was just quiet. It was like pretty non-existent, if you ask me. But yeah, I mean, we were doing that as the second Gulf War was kicking off. It was like the first Gulf War.
So
the
2 wars you were in.
Yeah, I mean, I know the 91 was in South Armagh, and then the 2003 one, I'm in bloody Londonderry. Like, pain in the arse. Did it? Like, it's like they planned it.
Oh, but you got your chance, didn't you? Because she's like came back from there and went almost straight out, didn't you? Didn't you do Optelic 2? Sorry, 2 or 3?
No, we did Optelic. We did one it was October 2004. We did.
Right.
Yeah, and
that was a bit tasty, that wasn't it? I remember.
No, that wasn't tasty at all. The one before that was tasty. That was the Mahdi army. Muqtada al-Sadr and he's Shia. I think they were Shia. I'm sure they were. They sort of like had an uprising. they were pretty pleased that Saddam had gone, but they just wanted us out, the coalition out.
Yeah.
So they went ballistic, and we managed to quell it. And then we went over there in October after all that had finished. Because we were watching it, we heard about it, and we thought, shit, we've got to go back. We've got to go there. We're watching it. Jesus Christ. But yeah,
what are we let ourselves in for?
eh?
So what have we let ourselves in for?
I know. I was like,
You
shit,
know what I mean?
what's going on here? We're gonna get mullered out when we get out there. Mullered, yeah, that's the right word to use, isn't it? Mullered. Yeah, yeah. I went out there. I was part of the SSR, social sector reform, and so what we had to do was go out and make sure that the Iraqi police, their intelligence cells, were operating effectively, and they were a pretty funny bunch. They were like this one guy thought was James Bond. He used to comb his hair over. He used to wear a suit all the time. He had a pistol and a hip holster. It just looked like a complete dickhead. But he honestly used to turn up. It's like, fuck, so who are these jokers? You know what I mean? Yeah, that was the Iraqi sort of intelligence sort of cell. Crazy.
Yeah, they couldn't trust any of them.
They couldn't, and they had their special forces with their massive blue. I think they had purple berries or blueberries. They would like. They had purple uniforms, but they were like special forces. It's like Jesus Christ. I mean, they were just, it was crazy. Who's trained these guys up?
They all went to shit again afterwards, didn't it?
They did, yeah, they definitely did that, yeah. I mean, that was a very quiet tour, to be perfectly honest. We had a couple of suicide bombers go off. They obviously killed them all. So, yeah, they were successful. They killed themselves. I think somebody got injured. They got burnt slightly, but not too bad. And that was it, really. Nobody got killed. That was it, really. It was pretty boring tour, if you ask me. Like, yeah, the Optelic tour. Mind you, the best tour I did was afterwards. It was like it was 2006. It was Cyprus. That was tough. It was tough. It was a tough one, that one. I even got a medal for that one as well. I was a canoe instructor in Ayia Napa for that one. I don't know how I managed that.
Dodgy.
On my liver. It was drinking all that Keo. That was a nightmare. Jesus. Yeah,
fair enough. I never did it. I never did a UN tour in Cyprus.
Yeah.
I did my Carter course there in '95, but I never did a UN tour. I missed out on it. I got offered one, but I'd just come back from Iraq. So they said, "Do you want to go up there?" And I was like, "No, I'm literally just got here. I've got the 39 regiment." They were just about to go up, and I'd literally come back from Iraq, and they went, "Do you want to go to Cyprus?" I was like, "No, fucking don't. I literally just come back to it. No, thank you." And I'm glad I didn't, because I mean, I don't think I'd be here now. The story I heard of people in Cyprus, and you thought it was a drinking culture in Germany, but it's holiday time, it's party time, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, we get up. I'll be
so
up there.
How did you end up with third then? Sorry, before you got there, did you go out to Herrick?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been very different to what you.
It was, yeah. It's probably the most violent tour I've done to date. Well, yeah, it's probably the most violent one. Yeah, it was pretty tasty. That one was. Yeah, I got told I was going to be in the brigade. I think was that a divisional or brigade headquarters I think it was in Lashkargah, on the Lash in Lashkargah. So I was expecting to go there, so I had me duvet packed and all that in the MFO box. I had some books in there. I even had slippers as well. I even bought some slippers and I put them in there as well and all that. Brilliant. So off it went, and they said, Sergeant Douglas, we've one of the gun batteries needs a firing sergeant. I says, what the fuck are you coming to me for? And they said, well, Sergeant Douglas, we think you'd be the best person for that. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go. So I got attached to a gun battery, 97 Lawson's Battery Company. It was one of their Hislop's troop. That was it. I was in Hislop's troop, so I was the firing sergeant for that. So I was doing some training for them guys, and then I went to, obviously did Herrick, went off, went to Camp Bastion, and we just went out for about 3 or 4 days. I forget where it was. It was in Gereshk. It was just north of Gereshk. We were just outside of Gereshk somewhere. We were just there, and we were there for about 4 or 5 days. I remember we were there, and then we came back again, and that was it. And then we were there for about 2 days, and then we got told, right, you're going to go back out again. This time you're going out for like 5 months now. This is your full tour. You're going to go to a place called Fob Inkerman. I thought, Inkerman? He says, yeah. He gets the nickname Incoming. Oh, for fuck's sake! I just didn't need. I didn't need that. You know what I mean? So yeah, we prepped that evening. I says, we need to leave at 1 o'clock in the morning because by the time you get to Gereshk, it's going to be like it needs to be still dark because there was a suicide bomber. Unfortunately, there's a suicide bomber threat. Unfortunately, and somebody from 19 Reg got killed the year before. Yeah, you know, yeah, he got. I think he got killed in that city itself. We were told we had to get there while it was dark, just to lower the threat. We were still there at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, trying to sort the comms out, do this out. Oh, geez, and then we set off at 7 in the morning. It was daylight, so we set off and we went through hustle bustle of Gereshk. It's like, oh, here we go. You know, we got through it fine. You know, nothing happened. Thank God for that. And yeah. We've spent about 3 months just outside of Fob Inkerman while they were preparing it, and we were in this alcove of mountains. We were there for a bit with a gun troop ready, you know, just prepared. So we spent about a month there, and then went into Fob Inkerman with 40 Commando. 40 Commando were there, A Company. Yeah, we were there for about 4 months.
Was that light gun? Was it?
It was light gun. Yeah, we had 3 light gun. For a while, one got knocked out because it got hit by I think it was some sort of like shell. They were firing like I forget what the bloody it's called. It's like an anti-tank round, but they were using it in the indirect role, and they were whizzing it over the parapet of the where we were in, and it knocked out the wheel and they damaged the gun slightly. So it was pretty. Yeah, we were getting shelling quite a bit. So we had 2 guns for a bit, and then we got the new one at New Year's Eve. It arrived in a convoy, so we got a new gun. That was quite good. That, yeah, there was loads of stuff on there. I remember at the start of the tour, I thought I need to write about this. The very beginning, so I started writing every day. So I started writing, and just every day I did about at least I made a target 1,000 words a day. So I did that every day. Yeah, so I carried on doing that, and there's a book out about it now. So I got about 116,000 words, I think, out of it. Yeah, published it. So, yeah, like I say, it's out there now. So I'm not plugging it. I'm just saying it's out there anyway. Like, it's been out there.
We're going to talk about that in a minute anyway. So.
Oh yeah. So I wanted to do that. That I actually looked at it this morning. I was reading it and I forgot some of the stuff I was up to and what I was doing. I thought, oh, that's what I got up to. That's what I was doing on that day. It was like a diary, isn't it? It's like, shit, yeah, I was doing this, I was doing that. Yeah, I called him a CUNT because he was lazy, he fell asleep, he didn't wake up, you know, that sort of stuff, you know. Usual day-to-day life, you know. But yeah, I thought, yeah, I mean, I remember doing that, and did we lose anyone? No, we didn't lose anyone on that tour. We didn't, nobody killed. We had about 15 injured, I think, 15, 16 injured in various mine strikes. There was like a Chinese rocket. Somebody got hit by a rocket, nearly killed him. Like he was severely injured. He survived that one, you know. And there was a lot of action going on in November, and it was pretty tasty.
Yeah, it was a busy time. I never got to go here. I was downgraded, and I was in the wrong job and whatever. So I'm quite lucky in a way not to.
No, that's good. It's good. I mean, there's a lot of people say, "I wish I'd gone out there," but they do that. They say that I wish I'd gone out there, or if you. Oh, there's a lot of people who volunteer for things and they wish they never, you know, because it does messes with your mind. You just you don't need that shit. You don't need that baggage. You just don't need it.
Yeah, but you don't appreciate that at the time.
No, you don't, because you're young and you're daft and you're invincible.
You don't think that's going to affect me. You don't even think about it. You don't think about the future and stuff like that.
I think that's why we are conditioned for only 22-year service, because you get to 18 to 40 and that's it, and then it's cut off after that point. You think, well,
your body's fucked as well.
Eh? Yeah,
your body's fucked.
Yeah, your body's fucked. You proves your mind probably. You think, well, you're not used to anyone now. You just there's your immediate pension. Thank you. You know, fuck off. You know.
There's a lot of discussion that we've had on the podcast about the end of service and how it just stops and how hard it is to move into Civvy Street and to adjust. Yeah. You know, and it does take a long time. It took me without even realising this took me years, absolutely years. I'm not fully adjusted yet anyway. So
Yeah, I
after
think
you said you'd moved to 3RHA.
I
So
did.
how
Yeah,
did that come about?
basically our regiment was what's it called? Arms plotting, I think it was from Osnabrück. Osnabrück was closing down as a garrison sort of thing. Well, our unit, we did like the Freedom of Osnabrück parade or whatever it was, or the last parade, and it lashed it down as well for that one, just pissed it down completely. Proper torrential rain. Anyway, that was the last ever parade, and we buggered off to England, and we got the option to volunteer if you wanted to go to any of the units that was staying a bit longer. So I said, yeah, definitely, because my wife at the time, she was, I mean, we liked Germany. We were sort of Germophiles. We just loved it. We loved the place, the culture, the Bockwurst, the bratwurst, that's the currywurst, we love that sort of stuff, and the German beer. So yeah, we got third of which year. We were chuffed to bits. That was it. That's what we did. We went up to
So how did you find the difference between the two regiments? Because they were very different regiments.
They were very different. Yes, they had a different way of doing things. I mean, I was a signal sergeant in Forage in the HQ battery there. And it was, I don't know what it was, because I don't know whether it was because I hadn't been on an exercise with them as a signal sergeant, and if I had, it was somebody else was doing the job or the role. I don't know whether it was. I mean, I wasn't a very experienced signals sergeant, to be very honest. It was mainly intelligence cell sort of thing. I didn't have that much experience behind me because I was mainly Cymbeline and intelligence cell rather than, full on signals. When I went to third, it was all on you. You were the signal sergeant, and you were expected to do the Bowman digital stuff, and all the. I didn't know. It was all. I didn't have a clue. I honestly did not have a clue whatsoever. And I got put on a 3-month warning order. I was on the first ever exercise in 2009. I was expected to get the regiment up and running on comms, everything. I didn't have a clue. I was like deer in the headlights. I was like, what the hell's going on here? What the fuck's going on? And so I think it was you got the SMIS and you got another one. This is a Sergeant Major Instructor Signals. He took over sort of thing.
The Wokeless.
Yeah, and they got the CIS. They took over. He said, Dougie, go over there, just make a fucking brew. He says, we'll take over. And they took over and they just did everything. They knew what they were doing. You know what I mean? Okay. And the BC wasn't happy with me. He says, right, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to put you on a 3-month warning order. I said, okay, no worries. And they put me on that, and
welcome to the regiment.
Yeah, basically that was it. Yeah, and I thought, this is shit. I says, I wish I'd never come here. But it was lack of experience. It was a lack of experience. It was that grounding you have. If I'd stayed with 88 Barry as a flaggy on the command post and stayed all the way through, I'd have probably easily done that, the job of signal sergeant. But I hadn't. I'd left as a clerk, and I did radar. I did Cymbeline operator. I did Incel. I squandered quite a few of the years just being on the piss all the time. But if it's a big word in it, it's only 2 letters, but it's a massive word. Yeah, it's just the way it is, isn't it? But yeah, I could organise adventure training. I could do that, and I could run. I could run a BFT, and I can organise adventure training. That's one thing they said. So that's all I was doing, organising adventure training. I was the BTO as well. Battery training officer, I could do that as well. And Incel, I could do that as well. The signal sergeant, no, don't give that to me. Give that to somebody else. Yeah.
So how did you gel in there then after? So 3-month warning order, obviously, you didn't.
Yeah, to be fair, the battery commander, he wasn't nasty about it. He was a bit. I don't know whether he was surprised or wasn't surprised. He just said, but he was all right. He was okay, I suppose. Major Snodgrass, he wasn't too bad. That's his real name, by the way, Snodgrass. Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, wasn't too bad. But yeah,
it's not a bad regiment. Obviously I'm biased, so
yeah. No, I think
it's brought its traditions.
It has, yeah. I mean, I've been with him 3 years by the time I'd left. Yeah, I thought I got on. Yeah, I got on well with people. Yeah, people like me. I like them. Yeah, we got on well. Yeah.
So you left in 2012, was it?
2012. I've left. Yeah, I left. I went to 14 Reg in 2011. It was October time. Moved to a place called Rugby in Warwickshire. it's in the centre, in it. So we just thought we'd go there. And obviously, I'd do 2 days, I think, 2 days in Lark Hill, and the other 3 I'd do as a part-time job, health and safety for a pharmaceutical firm in Northampton, as work experience. So I'd do that as well.
So that helped with your transition into Civvy
It
Street.
did, yeah, that's what it did, yeah.
We're quite lucky with that, yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I remember when I was down in Lark Hill, I got a phone call about from this guy who owned a company called REMPLOY, Remploy. I have to say that right because it sounds like Rent Boy, but it's Remploy.
Very different job.
Yeah, very different job. Yeah. And he said, if I wanted a job with him, I says, yeah, I can, but I'm still in the army. I said, I'll have to work for you for free until my contract runs out in May 2012. He says, yeah, that's fine with me, rubbing his hands together. So that was in Coventry. So I did that. This guy was ex I think he was ex-engineer, he was a captain, but he was the factory manager. So he took me on board, and I did health and safety for him until 2013. Yes, that was a good little thing.
You've eased into Civvy Street quite well there, where a lot of people do.
I did. From it. The thing is, I looked at Civvy Street like it was a game of Monopoly, and I looked at it like that, and I thought, this is like, I'm going to start an Old Kent Road here. I'm going to start with nothing here, so I need to build up my empire. So I just started working like that, and just build up, and that's how I did it, and it works for me out here. I mean, I know you get an immediate payout and stuff, and you get an immediate pension. You get your lump sum and stuff like that. But that's in goals anyway. So you think you've got to work on it and work hard, sort of thing, and just go for it. Nothing's impossible. You just got to keep on at it. That's what I found. You
couldn't live off the pension. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a pretty good pension. Really good. I mean, I only left as a full screw. I mean, as we alluded to earlier, I might have been a bit of a bad boy in my time. I was downgraded medically for a long, long, long time. So the proportions for me were never going to come. But I still managed to do 27 years.
Yeah.
So my last job was working with the RCMOs in 39. And I was ACMS trained as well. So when they did that extension bit, I think it was RT-Log and ACMS. They didn't have enough of them. So they said, they can extend them by 2 years. And I decided, hey, I'm ACMS. And they're like, but you're not doing the job. I says, give me that 684. I filled it in myself. I was like, I'll take this to the CEO shop. Signed it. Thank you. Another 2 years. I was quite happy with that. Sometimes I wish I'd got out sooner.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did them extra 2 years. And I still owe the Army a year unreckonable service anyway. So that's why I got my extra thing. So this moves us on. Then you're into Civvy Street now. There's the thing I noticed today when I was when I was spying on you, when I was looking you up a bit. That sounds even worse. I was looking you up a bit.
Stalking me.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the stuff on Facebook about the punk history things that you do on your website there, and the little stories that you put on there, and they seem interesting. Like I said, I haven't read it all. I've dabbled in them a little bit, but I didn't realise that you actually started an independent publishing company. Let's call it.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? Or
yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, there's some people like to use the term hybrid publishing. But I started I actually started when I was still in the army. It was a website, and it was called Dougie's World, because my name Douglas, so the nickname Dougie's World, and I had a few people from the UK who would contribute. So we talked about gingers and stuff, and other topics like that, controversial topics. So we just wind people up. So we did that for a bit, and then we thought, well, let's publish short stories. So we did that, started that in 2012. And I thought, well, why don't we publish a book? Publishing books, like a collection of short stories. So let's do that then. So I started putting that together, started using Photoshop. The 2 guys that were with me at the time, online sort of thing, they were working with me, they'd left. So I just did it on my own. And then I started, just kept on publishing those short stories. So I'll get people submitting short stories. I've got quite a few now. I've got on my website at the moment, I have them backlogged. Like you've got these podcasts backlogged, I'm backlogged to November, and like you probably are now, sort of thing. So I've got everything lined up, ready each week to publish short stories, as well as novels and collections of short stories that somebody might have wanted to put together. So, I'm doing that now. So,
So
yeah,
as a off, I mean, obviously it's a labour of love. You're not making cash out of it or anything like that.
I'm all up the. I am making a bit of cash. The only cash I'm making out of it is, well, at the moment I am, but as of a month ago, I'm charging now. But before that, I wasn't charging anything at all. It was basically free. Provided the work was good, I was all I asked was that I would take on board the book itself for 12 months, and I'd get 50% royalties. But I've been doing that for like 12 years. And
Yeah.
lots of people saying, well, why aren't you charging them? Bloody hell, you're doing this, you're doing book cover, you're doing the interiors. They get to keep that at the end of the 12 months. You're a mug if you're doing that for free. So I thought, yeah, you're right. I've been doing it for 12 years, so I am just charging a small amount. It's not much at all. It's not really much. I'm actually undercutting quite a few people. So yeah, I'm just starting to do that now. Whenever I get a
So does it
submission.
get published into print as well, or is it just online?
Yeah, it's print. It's in print. It's also in Kindle as well. In digital format. So I do that as well. In the early days, it was quite difficult. I used to use machine code like HTML. I used to use that. Used to do that and do the covers and put that onto Amazon. It was mainly through Amazon, But the print's quite easy. The print version's quite easy. I use Photoshop to create the covers. I used to do the artwork myself, but now I'm pretty lazy. I use AI now. That's perfect. AI is brilliant. It is brilliant. Artworks.
It is good, but sometimes it throws out some shit.
Oh, it does like six fingers and stuff. You have to look at that. Or somebody with a dodgy eye. Somebody who could probably watch a tennis match without moving the head. So you're going to watch the rise, and it's just weird.
I've tried using it for the podcast. To publicise it and that. And I've tried a couple of times. And I've just given up.
No, you need to double check everything. You got to double check it, maybe tweak it slightly because you can't trust it. Cannot trust it whatsoever. But it does if you look at it. Sometimes you can tweak it slightly and the results are good. Yeah, definitely.
I think it's early days with AI still. It's going to get better. It's going to get
definitely.
scarily better.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the AI videos at the moment are quite clever. And it's in my job. I work in IT anyway.
Yeah.
We've started delving into. I mean, it's mainly support that we do, but we have started delving into AI for websites and stuff like that. And it's a bit hit and miss, but it gives you the bit. Yourself building the website. If you don't know what you're doing, it's quite hard. And I don't know what I'm doing with websites. I don't like doing it. But I'll do an AI one, and then you've got the basis, you've got the building blocks, and going, right. And it's a lot easier to tweak something that's already half built than build them, because I've got no imagination.
Of course, no, you can reverse engineer. You can reverse engineer and tweak it.
Yeah. And the punk history stuff. Do you want to just touch on that?
Yeah, I started that in 2018. There was a colleague of mine, if you like. I've never met the guy, just online. He's an author, ex-military, journalist, policeman, ex-policeman, ex-intelligence intelligence corps. I see. Yeah, that's what I meant. He decided to write a few sort of like episodes and like articles, if you like, on different subjects. So that was in 2018, 2019. So I put it on there. Created a website. We started doing that. It went offline. Something happened. I've just brought it back to life again and so I've got his stuff on there. I've got my stuff on there, which I must have about 120,000 words worth of material from 1990 up to 2012. The army for me and what I went through and what anecdotes, if you like, or vignettes of experiences. So I've put them in there as well. So it's like he'll have an article for this 2 weeks, and then the following 2 weeks there'll be my article. So we do it every 2 weeks, really.
And does that get a lot of hits? Is it popular?
Not really. It doesn't take a lot of hits. I think on X or Twitter or whatever it was big 2018, but now I've called it I don't know whether it's the name the Egg Banjo. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's that.
I mean, that's funny to us.
Yeah.
But I don't think a civvy would know.
I don't.
Or
Yeah,
what
it's
that
not.
means.
Yeah, I mean, it was never
I
geared
know, I know, I
towards
know what you're going to
kiddies.
say. It's not
Yeah,
meant for general
silly.
consumption.
Yeah.
But the same as these podcasts, they're always aimed at ex-forces.
Mm.
But I've found that, or I'm surprised that there's quite a few non-forces, cities or whatever, who
Yeah.
do listen to it, and they are quite popular with people because they like to know what we got up to. As much as we don't know what they were doing when we were behind the wire, they didn't know what was happening behind the wire, so they don't understand, what our lives were like. And the stories that you told today, and people have told me yesterday, and last week, and in previous months,
Yeah.
gives people a bit of an insight into what our lives were like. And we all had different lives, but we all had something in common. We, whether it be artillery, whether it be tankies, whether it be infantry, raw signals, or whatever. The thing we all got in common is we were squaddies. The RAF, we were in the military. The Navy, we were. Well, maybe it's not the Navy. I haven't got a clue what they did. I must get someone on the podcast to explain it to me. We all had, we can all talk to each other. We had a common language.
Yeah.
Just the way we talk to each other and stuff like that. And they like to tap into Jesus Christ. I mean, some of the biggest comments I've had people say to me, we can't understand how he's none of you are dead from alcohol poisoning, type of thing. And it is true. We could, the amount we could drink.
Yeah.
That's weird. My camera's just come zoomed right in on my face.
You scared me there, mate. That is creepy,
drink,
mate.
Scared you. It's fucking scared me. So I've got a new webcam. I don't know why I did that. Right. So we've gone over the hour. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on while we're here? When I said we might use the video on this, we're not now.
No, you mentioned about the cities and all that, and they've got this sort of like perceived idea of how we do things. It's like, do you remember the TV series Soldier Soldier back in the 90s?
Loved it.
Eh?
I loved it. I loved Soldier Soldier.
Yeah, but have you not seen it in some of the films as well? You look at that, you just cringed on you. You think, nah, we didn't do like that. That never happened. Yeah. It's just, but yeah, I think the beauty of these podcasts and, like you said, stories you tell, it does bring it to life. You know what I mean? Exactly. Of the sordid tales,
the sordid details of our lives.
The dits. Yeah.
Dits and shits, as they call it. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
No, right. It's been great, Craig. Let's see, we've gone over the hour. Thanks again for doing this, and I wish you the best of luck with your little puppy. That sounds really belittling. Sorry, with your publishing.
It is little, mate. It's fine.
Yeah. If people want to, I'll put stuff in the show notes, and they can look it up and maybe purchase things from there, or have a read of the stuff that's online. And look out for the egg banjo that Craig's got out. I know you throw bits on there on Facebook a lot as well, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah,
that's where I've noticed it from. Yeah, that's where I've noticed it from, and thought I'm going to get him on here and we'll see what goes. So again, thanks for coming on and sharing your story on the podcast. It's been entertaining, as everyone's has. I hope you've enjoyed it and haven't been too.
I love it, mate.
Interrupted too many times.
Yeah. Nice one.
Right. So I'll say goodbye now and I'll stop the recording.
Yeah, no worries, mate. I'll speak to you later.
I hope you enjoyed that podcast. I enjoyed recording it. If you could just hit the like button, and also if you could subscribe and hit the notification bell, that would be great, because it'll help the channel grow. The more people will see it, the bigger it'll get, and the more guests I can get on, and the more people I can talk to. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, like I said. Look forward to the next one. Hopefully we'll be out next week as normal. Bye-bye now.